having great sessions together for weeks. I hope this is helping you. We are getting very, very excited. We're gathering audience. People are kind of joining the interaction and being inspired to be motivated. It's not always that easy. Today's topic is resiliency, the power of resiliency, and the way to start moving towards resiliency. Scripture teaches us that if we'll having done all to stand, continue to stand. It's not always that easy. Depends a lot on who you're running with, who you're hanging out with, and how many people you're supporting. So often in my life, I find people that are just emptied out, that have no support themselves, yet they are supporting family members, they are supporting children, they're supporting spouses in a lot of ways, and it's very difficult for them to stay motivated, to stay out of when they're in their own personal time, stay out of a down kind of a feeling. So learning to encourage yourself, learning to minister to yourself, learning how to take a Sabbath, learning how to rest, learning some inner thought processes around that is always something that you need to be working on. Most people don't realize that they can work on that, that they can develop tools to encourage themselves, that they can develop environments where they can encourage themselves, because encouraging yourself is absolutely essential to being able to handle diversity, to handle not diversity, adversity, handling adversity. And so it's so very important that when bad news comes, that you have a mindset of victory, that you have a mindset that things are going to work out, that you're going to find a solution, that you're going to be able to find a way up, find a way out. And most people don't think like that. Most people don't think that something good could happen, something good is going to happen. When I was a pastor in the early 2000s, actually, I want to go right back to 9/11. Our church was right across the street from that terrible event when the planes were driven into the towers and the towers came down. But what I discovered and what I taught my church, what I taught the people in my church was God is going to speak to you and he's going to give you a way out. He's going to tell you what to do. Most people, they'll hear voices in their head, but they're used to arguing with those voices. So then they're slow to react. But if you know that you're going to hear news that is good for you, news that is going to help you, then you're going to respond to it. And I can tell you story after story about how people heard on the inside of themselves run down into the sewer, not the sewer, run down into run down into the subway. Run down into the sewer. That's hilarious. Run down into the subway and you will be delivered. One of my friends, Steve, did exactly that. And he was down there working. He was looking up. He was seeing actually people jumping out of the towers, but he heard this voice, run now and into the sewer. And that's when the second plane hit. The second plane hit. And when that second plane hit, the heat down on the streets burned people's hair. All sorts of wild things happened at that moment because he knew that something good was going to happen for him. He could trust what he's hearing on the inside. So many times I encounter those caretakers, those people that are responsible for other people, and they need to be encouraged. They need to be listened to. And the reason that I find myself in that situation so often is because there are so few people creating an environment to bolster helpers, bolster people who are caretakers. And so if we can create that place, we can create and teach resiliency. We can teach how to get up again after taking it in the chest or taking it in the teeth when you have a tough situation. So it's important that you surround yourself with people who know how to help caretakers, who know how to help helpers. And so we've created that environment here at Morning Motivations. We've created that environment everywhere that I go because it's so important that we take care of our caretakers, take care of our helpers, and give them tools to encourage themselves. So let me just start with a few tools that I use on a daily basis. First of all, I always believe that we're going to find a solution. I don't get myself into despair. Now, a belief is very important. A belief is a choice. When you believe something, you choose that this is actually your reality. My reality is that we are going to be successful. We are going to win. We are going to be able to find a solution that works. And when you have that mentality, you don't have this doubt. You don't have this extra burden that you have to carry while you're making decisions. Because if you think something bad's going to happen, then you're always waiting for the shoe to drop. Every time you take a breath, you're not confident in the decision that you're going to make. And so you make mistakes, and making mistakes just piles on to your search for a solution, right? So back to the 9/11 example, people that believed that they could get out kept trying to get out. And think about it, more of those people got out. If you didn't believe that you were part of the solution, then you would stop trying. And many people stopped trying, waiting for someone else to solve their problem, and the towers fell on them, and they are now no longer with us. So believing that you are part of the solution and that you're not just stuck in a problem is absolutely essential to staying resilient, to being able to overcome offenses, to being able to overcome gaps in your knowledge base, gaps in your resources, always expecting to find more resources, always expecting to learn and be able to learn something new, meet somebody new who might be able to help you with your situation, or help you help someone else in their situation. So you start with, we win, let's play. We start with, we're going to be successful. So I always ask people the question, what would you do if you knew you were going to succeed? Right? So that's a totally different mindset than most people approach things. They're always like, they have more of a hit and miss, throw stuff up against the wall and see if it works kind of a thing. But to stay resilient long term and to be able to help people long term, you have to have this mentality that you are going to find a solution. You are going to figure out a way to do it. And when you do think like that, it uplifts you. It encourages you. Something good's going to happen for me today. People come to me every single day, and I don't feel a heavy burden, and they're in the middle of a situation. They may have just gotten an evil report from a doctor that they have cancer, or they may have gotten an evil report that they're going to lose their job. Something bad is going to happen to them. And I always say to them, I use a scripture. I say, what the devil means for harm, God can turn it around for good. And then I say, would that be all right for you, with you, if God did turn it around for good for you? Would it be all right with you if something good happened for you? And so it's very important that you are okay with having something good happen on the other side of adversity. That's what resilience is. If I didn't think things would get better, then I would stop trying. What's the point? And so this is so very important that you have this victorious mindset. Now we see a lot of teaching out there that is not teaching you to take individual responsibility for your situations, teaching you that the system is rigged. It's teaching you that you can never really achieve. But that's not a biblical, that's not a healthy mindset, because it causes you to sit on your hands and wait for someone else to create for you a solution, create for you a better way. So when you start taking responsibility, then you realize that any kind of negativity, any kind of sadness, any kind of depression that you continually entertain will absolutely put you into a quicksand or a quagmire of extra weight that will you just slow you down, and it'll slow your processes down. Now, let me give you some tools. here's a one-liner for you. You can't give away what you don't have. Okay, so we're talking about helping helpers. Now that may not seem like it's immediately applicable, but let me explain to you how this works. If you can't encourage others, then it's very hard for you to encourage yourself. If you can't teach someone else to be resilient, then you yourself probably don't have the understanding of what resilience is. So I always tell people, get out there, start encouraging others. And as you encourage others, then you start to own the art of encouragement, the art of problem solving. A lot of times it's very difficult to solve a problem in your own life because you're very emotional about it. You're very you're bogged down with a whole bunch of dynamics that you don't understand, and initially you don't believe that you will get to the solution. And I like to say, the answer to every question is a person. There's a mentor out there, there's an expert out there that I can find to help me find, or at least point me in the right direction to find the piece of information, the resource, the thought that will help me to get through what I'm going through right now. So that's the thought. So what you want to do is you want to think about this. A lot of us think we have skills that we don't really have. You don't really have it unless you're teaching it. If you can't teach it, you don't have it. If you can't, and what I mean by teach it, I'm not just saying you can write the thoughts on the board. If you can't give it to somebody so they have it, then you personally don't have it. So start today. Think of people in your life, especially if you're feeling bogged down. If you yourself are having trouble getting back up from something that's going on, I want you to start encouraging people. I'm here for you. If you want to reach out to me, and I will help to encourage you. All right. I will help you to think through to a creative solution. I will help you to begin to connect to resources. Most of us have bad habits around solving problems. We don't do it well. And so we have to begin to develop a mindset, begin to develop daily habits that put us in a position to solve problems. A lot of us don't have teams. We don't have resources. We don't have support systems. Part of that is because you haven't worked at being a good teammate, about how to be a good friend. You're so needy that you're just constantly, it's very hard for a leader like me to be around someone who can't encourage themselves. I mean, I'm around hundreds of people on a weekly basis. And the hardest thing for me is to get you to believe that something good is going to happen for you. Because why would I help you if you're going to quit in the middle? So I don't want to help you if you're going to quit, because I'm not going to quit, because I've learned how to encourage myself. I've learned how to encourage myself through your victories. And I've learned how to see solutions by learning from people every day and learning through adversity. Every obstacle that comes my way is a learning experience. Every obstacle that comes my way is going to make me stronger, make me smarter. It's going to make me more compassionate. And a lot of times problems come to me that wouldn't normally come to me because I'm helping other people. People that, I don't have the same kind of problems that everybody else has. So this is very important. So connecting to a group of people who understand resiliency is important, but also learning to encourage yourself so you qualify for sustained interaction with that. So start today, encourage others, and you'll begin to develop resilience. You'll begin to develop a problem-solving mentality. Something good is coming your way today, and that something good might be adversity. And so you got to start seeing adversity as good, because it's going to teach you. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to make you a problem solver, and it's not going to put you in your, in the backseat of your car where you can't do anything, where you can't drive, where you can't see. I'll tell you this, and I'm going to encourage you. I'm just going to speak this in your life right now. You just got to say, I receive it. I trust you. You're an individual. God can speak to you. You have a spirit. You can create. I trust you. You make good decisions. You may not believe that about yourself right now, but I've just released that thought into your mind. You are no longer somebody who's going to get beat by bad news. You are no longer someone who's going to get beat by a bad boss, a bad spouse anymore. But you got to stay connected because this takes practice. This takes repetitive practice. And it also takes whatever you learn today, you got to apply today. You got to take it out there and apply it today. So listen to this over and over and over again. You only heard probably just encourage someone else, right? But I said a lot more than that. I said way more than that. You got to believe. You got to believe that something good's going to happen. You got to believe there's a solution out there. You got to believe that that your inner voice is there to help you, not just to torment you. All right, this is a good start. I'm going to probably have to teach on this a few more times, but please connect because this is something that's probably set you back over the years, that you don't know how to pick yourself up. You don't know that you even can or should. And especially for you those of you who want to help other people, this is an absolute essential skill that you have to have. Thanks for joining us. Tune in again next Thursday. I'm here at my shore house. We're doing some renovations in the lower level. So thanks for being with us. I hope you enjoyed seeing my grandson recently. It's a blessing. God bless you. Have an awesome day. Stay tuned and make sure you comment. Make sure you ask questions. Have a wonderful day.